So hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Have the Race Gone for another round of the TSR Multiclass Super GT Championship. This time we are gonna be broadcasting a real-life race that was run yesterday from the Dragon Trails, and it was the Gardens layout. So we're gonna see the chicane of the Launchpad chicane. We're gonna be experiencing the joys of the Techno-Quad corner, and we are in for some genuine fun multi-class action indeed. It's a very close field in both classes, both in the GT300 and the GT500 class, with several drivers actually contesting still for the championship title in the 300, though it is mainly down between two drivers at the moment. It is CJ contesting actually Armored Core, so two well-known NES faces, and also Fred Dude in the mix there in the championship battle for the GT500s. Actually, Fred Dude is on par with the Armored Core in second position on points, so it's very close there. And in the 300s, it's Joe of the Fire with an 18-point lead to GT Welsh, who's in turn also got 12 points down to VRS Dick, so a bit more order there. Still all to play for though, or all to race for, we should probably say, in both classes. So with that said, we are gonna take you through the grid walk. And it is once more, because we've seen this on a couple of occasions this season here, it's Armored Core on pole position in the GT500 Nissan GTR. In second position it is CJ, who had a bit of a problem in qualifying but seems to got away with it there. It is of course just a second, I'm sorry. It is of course Fred Dude in third position in the number 11 NSX, followed by teammate Mikey in the number 99 car. Then it is AJ in fifth. It is Abu racing in the GT500 Nissan GTR here in his own IGTL livery here today. And then following him it is Pinkery in the Lexus as well. And in the 300s, once more, Sam Digby takes pole position, this time in front of Dad24, having a very nice run in qualifying. A bit of rumors about that he got a setup from Jonas that increased his lap time, or it actually decreased his lap times substantially there. Anyways, so yeah, right behind it is the Swedish survivor T5 Black, followed by myself actually in the Audi R8. Then it's GT Welch in front of my teammate, the witty Professor Joe of the Fire. Then it is the Belgian JC, of course, and down at the rear of affairs it is, in his own words, a very tired VRS Stick, who had a very, very long drive and just made the race, just made the qualifying session. And no, we're not taking pictures, it's just a mistake. Anyway, that concludes the grid walk. And that of course means we are gonna get the drivers away for the formation lap. And of course, once more it is of course with a 30-second wait for the 300 class, so the 500s are given this natural kind of buffer. And I can say that lap time differences around here were around 6 seconds per lap between the two classes. So not a huge speed difference, and probably come down to the amount of medium speed corners here, where the downforce of the GT500 cars doesn't really have the ability to bite in. Anyways, also hello to you guys out there, nice to see you. Nice to see Nilse, T5, Welsh as well in the chat. And hello to you as well, Stick, really nice to see you. And a really good evening to you all. I hope that you are doing well. So we're still following Armored Core here, CJ, and of course Fred Dude in the number 11 car. And we also have the 300 field away on the formation lap. Here, Dragon Trail Gardens is an interesting layout. It consists of those short to medium length straights, and then some combinations of curves that really seem to favor cars that are just stronger in handling. Cars like the Porsche 911, also the Aston Martin seems to be quite strong around here with this cornering speed. And generally, the Audi, also a strong car, probably a little bit of problems here indeed. As we have the 500 field just rounding the last double left-hander. Now they're gonna form up, and it is, of course, Armored Core's decision. Of course, they need to reach the finish line, I believe, before they can actually have a go. And that means they are underway here. Armored Core gets away nicely, followed by CJ, and it's still status quo as they come around the left sweeper, that is turn 1. Fred Dude, of course, in third, with teammate Mikey in fourth, AJ Abu Pinkery in 7th position in class. First time through the chicane here. Let's see if they all get through cleanly. It looks pretty neat there. As we're just going inside with Mikey to have a look at affairs. And that also means that we're gonna catch the GT300 start for once. Sam Digby leads the field on the way here. A little more tricky for these cars with the lack of downforce in turn 1 here, coming into the difficult chicane here with that 24 putting on the pressure to Digby. Oh, as I think that 24 gets a little bit wide there coming out of the chicane. And thus he's going to lose a lot of time all the way down. So the action is kicking off here. T5 Black, Joe of the Fire now a little bit up the inside. Oh, that was JC in the other Porsche 911 getting twitchy on the exit. I meant to say, but twisty, you probably could say that indeed. T5 is in second there, as it's that 24 that goes wide, and I think several cars might take the opportunity to go right past him here. Oh, F's out. What a horrible start after such a strong qualifying, and then goes and bins it on the first lap. So poor luck for that 24, who now has a lot of stuff to make up. As we have a look here, CJ now running up the inside of Armored Core, and he makes it stick. I believe Armored Core with the possibility of the cutback. Oh, but gets a little slide on there out of the hairpin, and now it's CJ leading the 300 class. It is still Freddy and Mikey. Fred Dude and Mikey. Probably sounds a bit too... Anyways, Fred Dude and Mikey in third and fourth position, with AJ in fifth position still. Avup and Pinkery in sixth and seventh. So CJ with a strong move there and putting a little bit of a gap into Armored Core already. That means that Armored Core is not going to be able to just suck into the slipstream and try to make a retaliation move on CJ. It's not going to be possible. At least he's going to have to do some catching up. CJ looking really fast around here. And did have some problems that we mentioned before in qualifying. And look at that, also in the 300s at the moment, it is certainly Sam Digby cruising away from the rest of the field. T5 Black in second position in class now, also with a little bit of a gap down to Joe of the Fire. VRS Dick, and oh, Joe getting a little bit too much curb underneath his left tires there. Everything under control as we come down through the Techno-Quad. And if any of you should be in doubt why we named it the Techno-Quad, try driving down there and just parking the car and listening to the rave party that's going on in the infield. Anyways, Joe of the Fire in third position in class now. VRS Dick in fourth. It is myself and GT Welsh fighting hard there. Joe of the Fire getting a little bit wide. Now Welsh with the company of JC, but JC in the Porsche 911 there on the outside. 911 almost always lacks a bit of a grunt, and Welsh also has the slipstream of my car in front. And Dad 24 is pitting in there as I think it is Stick up in front that has a big moment. As we go on board with GT Welsh for a moment. Just see Vera Stick defending with all that he's got, and that now pretty much put me in the clutches of GT Welsh. And Welsh goes for the cutback. Stick goes very deep in there. So a lot of action going down already here in both classes pretty much. We're gonna cut back with the GT 500 liters. It is still CJ. It is still CJ leading Armored Core, Fred Dude and Mikey, so still just status quo in the 500 class, except for the fact that CJ, of course, has overtaken Armored Core, and the Greek really seems to be on a roll here. Sam Digby, in turn, is also just consolidating his GT 300 lead in that Aston Martin. Let's see if he can have a smooth race this time around. He certainly has been looking for just that, a driver that really has the pace, but has been hit by such amounts of bad luck this season, which in turn, so far at least, has put him out of championship contention. T5 Black now getting hunted by the witty professor that is Joe of the Fire. And with a friendly teammate's car behind him, he doesn't need to really worry about anyone coming up from behind. At the moment, at least, he can concentrate on trying to get past the Swedish survivor in front of him. T5 here on a pretty good lap at the moment, up on his personal best, but saying that it's a 1:33.6, so it shouldn't be such a hard thing doing anyways. We're having a look with VRS Stick. He's just trailing Welsh, who in turn is hunting down my Audi just in front of him. And remember that Welsh and Joe of the Fire are very close in the championship standing. And it's like, just go wide there through the Techno-Quad. And that in turns is going to compromise my exit. Let's go have a look with the car of GT Welsh up in front there. This time around he might get the lunge up the inside here. Oh, as it just seems to brake much too late into the final double left-hander, and that just makes it an easy job for Welsh to get on past, and he is up into 4th position in class. So it looks like CJ has pressed pause for some reason while leading the race. This doesn't really make much sense. Click back there, but now Armored Core's in the pits and has returned from the pits. So might have been a problem there that we just about missed from the young American, and that it's in turn AJ has a bit of a problem there. It just manages to get in the way of Armored Core and just takes all the momentum out of the Americans. Run down the back straight here, coming down towards the hairpin, and he will be able to have a lunge at AJ in doing battle with AJ here for 5th position now, Armored Core. In turn, Mikey now in the lead, so really me being able to miss everything at the moment through the Techno-Quad here. CJ having to defend from Fred Dude. Fred Dude with a strong move there. CJ goes wide, manages to keep it, but it's now Honda 1-2 with a really strong lap from both Mikey and Fred Dude. And that was an insistent but a really strong move there from Fred to get past CJ, who we by now know is a really difficult driver to get the better of in that sense. So Avu at this moment up into 4th position, AJ in 5th, Armored Core now in 6th, and Pinkery is still in 7th position. Digby in turn has just increased his lead since last time out. Joe of the Fire seems to be getting a little bit closer to T5 now. And going back the order, it is myself and GT Welsh. Of course, Welsh having made the overtake, as I made a mistake a couple of laps earlier. He's now pulling away. Oh! As I just managed to outbrake myself once more there. Also a bit just testing the limits and pushing them a bit too far. Thinking that I could brake later than the case actually was. Also, as Welsh just mentioned in chat, there was something about the fuel weight here. Now there's a battle going on at the moment as Mikey is going backwards and he is still standing. So poor luck for Mikey as Armored Core gets a little bit of a nudge there and just nowhere to go as Mikey starts to get running, and that is also in turn really poor luck for Armored Core, so F's out for him. Now at the back of affairs in the 500 field. That is most certainly not what Armored Core would have wanted here. Championship contender, and then just to suffer this kind of luck. Fred Dude now leading in the GT 500s, and he is in turn also making his way through the traffic. This is the first round of traffic that the drivers had hit. CJ in second position, and Awoop now up into third. Oh, as Mikey is in fourth position, they're also just pushing his way through. Trying to recuperate after his little mistake before there. AJ, he's overtaken AJ, of course, already. And now Pinkery and Armored Core a little bit isolated at the back of affairs at the 500 field there. Digby is still just running really strong at the moment. Through the Techno-Quad there. Oh, he does seem to have some kind of scrubs there to the front of his car, Sam Digby. Let's just have a look at that. Oh, yeah, he has damage to his front bumper. Indeed he does, Sam Digby. So that is certainly not going to help his charge here, and perhaps he'll be glad that he has this advantage, but in turn he should probably just go in the pits and get it taken care of. Of course, this is not really such a top speedy track anyways. Fred Dude is now catching up, about to lap the GT 300 leader there. CJ very close, Awu also very close in turn, and Mikey in fourth position is also just within a couple of seconds. And a nice spot by Joe that was about the yellow flag in turn one. Could have looked like Digby going a little bit wide probably or something there. Anyways, we are never gonna know. Fred Dude looking strong there. CJ also getting the traffic done with Awu going wide. And that in turn lets Mikey through up into third position. So a little bit of a mistake there from the Frenchman. Now trying to get his way past Digby, and they are literally bumper to bumper right through the Techno-Quad. Coming out there, I think Digby will be happy just to have that over with. Now it's AJ coming up to lap the GT 300 leader. And see you to BRS Stick. And a very good evening to you further on. And see you around next time as well, of course. Now Joe of the Fire having gotten past T5 Black up into second position in class, and that is absolutely perfect for Joe of the Fire at the moment with Welsh in fourth. Now it is absolutely quite close here behind, because as we're following the car of Pinkery, you see, I think it was Armored Core just passing Joe of the Fire before. Then there is both T5 and Welsh right behind also, so a big collection of cars here right around the same part of the track. There's still CJ and Mikey really battling it out at the moment. Just going inside here with CJ. I actually think I meant to go inside with Mikey. That'll make a little bit more sense. As we just heard a beat from the rave party there, CJ goes a little bit wide. That might hand Mikey the exit. But he's kind of stuck on the outside here, coming down towards the last double left-hander. But is he far enough ahead to be able to cut in on CJ? CJ still defending his position as they're side by side on the exit. That is a brilliant move on the outside through that turn by Mikey. In turn makes it a Honda 1-2 at the moment, so a brilliant move. Just managing to repeat myself completely there, but that was a very nice one from Mikey, making that one stick. Abu now having caught up to CJ as well with all this scrabbling going on ahead. AJ also still close. And Joe of the Fire, it seems, just pulling away now from T5 and Welsh, who are in turn beginning to get locked into a battle. So it is the blue and ice camo BMW, the Polestar-ish livery of T5 Black, going against the Gainer GTR GT3 of GT Welsh. Oh, it's both drivers seem to get very late on the brakes there. And this part of the track certainly seemed to favor the BMW M3. Certainly a car that looks to be a little stronger on handling than both the Nissan GTR and that Audi R8. So Fred and Mikey looking to consolidate that Honda 1-2 lead at the moment. Abu and CJ is in the pits. So Abu up there, I think a little bit of damage repair. CJ is still in. CJ seems to have a lot of scraps and scrubs. And hello to Mr. Off Apple, Mr. Nukeshot Motorsports. We don't mind you being late. And even though you're probably used to school class or whatever, this is not school. So you tune in whenever, whenever it's possible. CJ now in 7th position after that pit round. Seems like he had a very long stop there before. I'm not entirely sure that we think we missed something from the Greek. Seems to be playing along just into the hands of Fred Dude at the moment, because he's still looking strong in the lead and is just keeping his pace about him. Him and Mikey has a sizable advantage down to AJ in 3rd position. Armored Core is the first of the cars on track to have pitted now, and mind you that he is so close that he might actually pass the 2 leaders once they go into the pits. At least it is going to be quite close, I think, when they go in. So we're going to keep eyes on that. Oh, as Digby goes a little bit wide coming out of the Techno-Quad, and as we have a look with that, Joe of the Fire has just about caught up to him. And that is probably because of the damage that the Aston Martin driver has been running with for quite a number of laps at this moment. Now Joe of the Fire really looking to have the advantage also here on the start finishing straight, but turn 1, a difficult one to get out of line, I was just about to say, but that is literally what happens. There is really just one fast line. Also, there is a little bit of a notch there between the 2 leaders, and that certainly must have been enough to cause a little bit of damage to both cars. Now there is a really close battle in behind as well with Welsh and of course T5 Black now with Welsh up the inside coming down towards the hairpin, and this looks like a done deal. Unless Welsh manages to outbrake himself, but he manages perfectly there. T5 tries for the cutback, but does he get the run? It doesn't seem like it. A strong move there from Welsh to go up into 4th position. No, it's of course 3rd position for Welsh there, so strong move. T5, however, doing a strong job also of just hanging on. Fred Dude now into the pits, so let's see how he emerges. He is in 4th position, so Armored Core has passed him. Armored Core meaning that now he is once more the de facto leader. even though he might be having to... well, if he double stints his tires, it matters all... it matters all the less. Mikey in third position, and of course it is AJ leading, but AJ hasn't been into the pits yet. Digby now. Oh, I think Joe of the Fire has been into the pits as well. He is, as we're talking about it. And out from his moment of damage there as well, but quite a way down the order. And he is in 6th position at the moment in class. There is the car of myself chasing Welsh and T5 in front at the moment. Here it is, T5 and Welsh, and Digby is right there, so close combat now for the lead in the 300 class. And that looks like Digby staying out with the damage that the double damage now, I was about to say, because he has some front damage from earlier in the race, and he picked up some with that contact he had with Joe of the Fire there as well. Welsh goes around the outside in the Techno-Quad, and that was a bold move from the fast Welshman there indeed. Manages to go around all the way there. We've seen some nice outside moves today. It's been really great. Now T5 looking close to Digby. As Welsh goes wide there, seems to get a problem. Just Welsh gets sideways, goes very Japanese there. Digby is into the pits for his stop, so let's see where he is gonna come out. Mind you that the most part of the 300 field has yet to pit here. No tires for Digby. So a double stint once more for him, and Joe of the Fire comes out right in front. Or in turn, Digby comes out right behind of Joe of the Fire. So that plays out well for the half the race gone driver in that situation. Armored Core still now leading. He seems to have gotten his way past AJ for the lead of the GT500. And AJ still has to go into the pits, and as we're talking about it, it so happens he's in for his fuel stop there, just fueling out again. And he rejoins the track in 4th position. And for a catch-up now with the 500 class, it is Armored Core leading, Mikey in 2nd position with Fred Dude 3rd in front of AJ. Awhoop is 5th in front of CJ, and Pinkery down in 7th position, of course. And in the 300s, it is T5 leading Welch and myself in front of VRS Stick. Then it is, of course, Joe of the Fire, Sam Digby, and JC Dad 24 rounding off the back of affairs in class at the moment. But mind you that T5 has yet to make his pit stop also. I think several of the leading 300 class cars has yet to make that pit stop, that necessary pit stop. And clever rules set up this series, because with only ×1 on the fuel burn, you'd expect it to be easy to last 30 laps, but the cars start out on 40 liters of fuel, which of course in turn means that well, it makes for some nice strategy. You can pit early, but what you want to do is get the most out of having a light car up midways through the race. That has seemed to be the fastest strategy so far. Now it's becoming close here for the 300 class lead, with T5 Black now holding off Welsh. We saw that brilliant overtake pulled off earlier. Now we're having this battle come down once more with the Swedish survivor in the lead of class. I think we have not. Of course, it's not certain that he'd last the pit stop round, with Welsh and myself still close there. Welsh thinking about having moves left and right now, taking it easy. So we're just gonna have in a look here. CJ now up into 5th position, now having a close duel there with Awhoop, but comes out ahead. So CJ now 5th with, oh, as he goes wide there, CJ, and just about manages to keep it under control. But it's a difficult track, this one, with these GT 500 cars, especially with these very high curbs. It really seems to be able to launch the car quite high up into the sky. Armored Core now pitting in, so Armored Core must have made a mistake concerning the fuel on that early pit stop. Certainly is not optimal for him to have to come in again. And he rejoins in third position. So once again, it is Honda in first and second position now, with Mikey leading Fred Dude. Armored Core rejoining in front of AJ in fourth. So doing well. Pace-wise, it seems Armored Core here today. Now Welsh having overtaken T5, but they are really close coming down through the middle sector here into the Techno-Quad, with myself for company now, right behind also. Oh, Welsh just about manages to keep it between the lines there. And in turns gets a great exit actually. And also really seems to be able to utilize the straight line speed of the GTR. Oh, as I managed to go really wide once more into the final combination of corners. Really hasn't seemed to be a strong point of mine in any way whatsoever. Let's have a look further back. Here it is now. VRS Dick pitting in on what is virtually an empty tank. Sam Digby and Joe of the Fire. Well, last time we had a look, it was the other way around. Digby having gotten past Joe of the Fire at some point here in the meantime, because Joe was ahead when the two came out of their last pit round. But Digby seeming to have the superior pace, also with a car that has quite a lot less ballast added than the car of Joe of the Fire, so it would make sense that he is able to go around this track somewhat faster, but he was a lot faster in qualifying as well, Sam Digby. And gets a nice run out the chicane here. And we're seeing the blue flags. That's of course because of the GT 500s coming up to lap once more. And we have, of course, we've missed the half the race gone marker by 5 laps. So well done. Mikey here having to play the patient card as he just gets very slightly there on the exit from the Techno-Quad. A difficult one indeed. But he has to play the patient card here as he goes to the inside. At least tries to go to the inside of Sam Digby, but Digby just keeps his line as he's racing Joe of the Fire close behind. At the moment now it is time for the pit round here for me and Welsh. So Welsh coming out right in front of myself. And in turn, as you also see, I took quite a load of fuel there, with 40% of the tank now being full. And that probably wasn't entirely necessary, but both of us coming out right in front of Joe of the Fire, and in turn disconnecting him from Sam Digby up in front. So poor luck there on the pit strategy from the witty the witty professor, of course. Fred Dude now coming through here with... Oh, and that's Armored Core trying to put one up the inside. Is he going to be successful? That is a bold attempt. I think Fred Dude just gets the exit upon him there. And in the chaos of the traffic, Armored Core tries to make the move stick. Let's just follow this battle for a minute. Here at Armored Core, oh, he just gets Welsh in between himself and Fred Dude there through the Techno-Quad. And that necessary slipstream on the straight now. CJ also getting involved pretty much with this scrap here for podium positions now, and it is T5 pitting in the 300s. So once more we're gonna have a return to the order of affairs, as all of the 300 cars will now have had their pit stops, and we will see where T5 comes out. He's out just behind Sam Digby, and is it gonna be Welsh now side by side with T5 as he comes out the pit, and Avu up on the inside. But it seems that the Swedish survivor manages to keep off GT Wells for the moment there and holds on to second position in class. What a strong defensive move there, a little respectful wink there as someone has gone sideways there. Who was that? I think it is CJ having gone completely sideways there, and he's now gone backwards. And what is the state of affairs for the Greek? Oh, terrible luck. F's out in chat for CJ, who has the full round. He has engine damage, and that is pretty much the end of that race. Now let us have a look. Joe is talking about that she should have called team orders. Well, by the looks of things, that would probably have been a good idea, because close is an understatement of the relationship between our two cars at the moment. Now with Pinkery having to go through, and he seems to get squeezed in just by myself there, not really realizing that he's there, and nowhere really to go for the Lexus driver. Certainly has a hard time getting past the 300 traffic here for this time around. Pinkery getting obstructed. Mikey now with a good, strong lead down to his teammate Fred Dude, who still has the company of Armored Core. And those two are battling for second and third position. AJ is now up into fourth with Abu and Pinkery following. Pinkery though some way behind, and CJ has been into the pits and he is coming out again, but in P7 in class. So horrible luck for CJ, and coming quite close to the end of the race also. Would certainly have hoped for better luck here, as we'll have a look with the 300 battle. And it is still the battle for the lead, because Digby, even though Digby has pulled away from T5 now. But T5 with just a little bit of a gap down to Welsh, myself and Joe of the Fire. So it's still very close, and much too close to call in the GT300 class at the moment. Anything can happen in motor racing, and it usually does, to quote the good old Murray Walker. It is certainly a fantastic race we're having today now. Fred Dude still with a little bit of gap down to Armored Core. Those are really looking strong today. The Hondas are really looking pacey around the Gardens layout here, and that is really nice to see. AJ and Avup here in the Nissan GTRs, both of them from 4th and 5th position at the moment. And Pinkery and CJ in those Lexuses in P6 and 7. Digby looking really strong, just seeming to edge out that advantage just ever so slightly now, with Welsh having returned upon the backside of T5 Black. And is he gonna make the move? Already coming down towards the hairpin here. No, he just slots in here. T5 seems to go very defensive. A bit of a nudge there maybe from Welsh, but the Swede gets the exit and just pulls away once more. And in behind of this, it is the two Audi R8s, quite close to one of each other, also very close to Welsh now at the moment. So it seems that the closer we get to the end of the race, the more the action really seems to heat up, as we've had a really close race, both categories abroad here. We have several cars contesting podium spots in the GT300 class, and also a close race still between Fred Dude and Armored Core here as they come out of the Launchpad chicane. Armored Core seemingly get a great run there down towards the hairpin. Fred Dude fending him to the outside and seems to defend himself greatly there, but Armored Core going for the exit. It's a difficult place to overtake in this twisty middle sector here. Although it is possible down in the Techno-Quad, even though it kind of makes it necessary for someone to have a mistake. And none of these drivers seem to make any at the moment. Armored Core still just close in behind a Fred dude. Wells there getting just a tad wide. Still chasing the Swedish survivor in front, and all the while Sam Digby is running away with the GT300 lead, and he has been looking like he is the strongest in class today. Consistently fast, and that is what you need to win races. Now having a look with Welsh, who is once more close to the bumper of the Swedish BMW driver in front of him. Joe of the Fire has gotten through, and in truth it really is, as Joe also noticed in chat, it is a very, very hard track to overtake upon. Certainly seems to be an opportunity here coming into the chicane, and also an opportunity coming in to the hairpin, but that is about it. And none of those places are still what you would call easy places for overtaking here. Welch just a little bit too far back. Mikey still nursing that lead. CJ into the pits once more. And I think he's called it a quit. Yeah, that looks like a parked car for me, and I'm quite sure it is. So F's out for CJ once more. He's had a really, really bad race. And Fred Dude and Armored Core is still going at it. And Fred Dude in turn managing to keep Armored Core behind. Oh, as Armored Core really goes airborne there, but seems to get a great exit now. Fred just pinching him towards that left kink down this back straight. Armored Core still might be able to spring up something. No, just thinks twice about having a move. Tries to go for some kind of cutback. But Fred Dude still ahead there, looking strong. Avup is in 4th position with AJ and Pinkery in 5th and 6th at the moment. AJ right behind him though. And in the 500s, also in the 300s now, Welsh having gotten through on T5 here, so close to the end of the race. And now it's gonna be up to Joe of the Fire to get past both the Swede and the Welshman in turn, if he is gonna conserve or if he's gonna keep on moving away in the championship battle, because he is quite close with Welsh there, even though it is 18 points of a lead that he has, so he has some kind of buffer at least there. Welsh seems to be just pulling away from T5 at the moment, and both myself and DRS Dick also seems to have lost some time at this moment here, as I think T5 might have made a little mistake there. We're gonna be checking back into that because we need to catch that 500 action up in front between Fred Dude and Armored Core. And this time, might Armored Core make it stick? No, it doesn't look like it. We're gonna go inside with Armored Core here to have a look at the battle. Seems like he has a little bit of issues just laying the power down. And every time they go out of that hairpin, it also just seems faster. They come up to overtake the car. I think that is the car perhaps of... Is that the car of JC? Oh, as JC just wipes out Fred Dude. Oh, F's out for Fred Dude in that situation. It surely didn't look intentional at all, but that comes at a critical time for the Belgian 100 driver that just gets swiped off there by his compatriot indeed. Such bad luck there. And that is certainly going to affect the podium battles in the situation. You can't really penalize Armored Core for taking advantage of whatever happens in front. So now Armored Core, the young American, back up into 2nd position with Fred Dude chasing, and he will be furious behind the wheel of that Honda after that incident. Great job actually by Fred, not even getting damage or not losing more time than he did, because it really is slippery at the outside of the Techno-Quad, and that is exactly where he went. Now let's have a look with Welsh, because he is defending from both T5 Black and Joe of the Fire. Joe of the Fire now very close to the Swedish survivor in front. As we go inside with Joe of the Fire, the witty professor just looks to get the exit on the Swede here. But in turn, the BMW seems really strong here on corner exits indeed. Even though he has the run coming down towards turn 1, not really a place you'd normally try the overtake. Oh, as it seems like T5 gets a little bit twitchy over the curb there on the inside, but manages to keep it. Coming into the chicane. And Armored Core haven't gotten the gap on Fred Dude now. And as they come out towards the final lap, it seems to be a done deal. Just about to say I'm afraid, because it was a very nice battle to follow. Oh, as I think it is T5 having a little bit of trouble there defending from Joe of the Fire. The Brit is all over the back of that. I was just about to say that Volvo. It's of course a BMW M3, but he is nevertheless very close now, coming up the back straight here. As Joe just goes a little bit wide and gets quite slidey there through the final corner, but seemingly gets a great run for the start finishing straight, and what also is going to seem to be the final lap of the race for the 300s. And here comes the move coming into turn 1 from Joe of the Fire, and I think he just chucks that car up the inside. Brilliant move there, and manages to get just one position closer to Welsh. And Joe of the Fire goes up into 3rd position in class. And meanwhile, Mikey has taken the checkered flag, winning the race for Honda. Such a strong race there. Armored Core taking 2nd. Fred Dude must be shattered there at the end to lose that podium position to Armored Core. But he does come home in 3rd position. Awu takes 4th with AJ 5th. And Pinkery comes home for 6th position there, as he has a little bit of an off. Oh. Can you hear the techno music in the background with Pinkery going around the quad here? Anyway, it's not time to focus on that. Digby is also coming home for a class win in the GT 300 class at the moment, is Welsh with a nice little advantage. Joe of the Fire also seems to have created a little bit of a gap for himself. And it is then T5 in 4th position and myself in 5th. And that also means that VRS Stick and Dad24, Crazy John, he's last because he went into the pits there, of course, and JC, of course, also having crossed the line already. So here it is, Digby, as we said. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm messing this up completely now. Digby is the winner of the 300 class, of course, in front of GT Welsh and Joe of the Fire, edging out the last podium position there with myself and VRS Dick just outside. So that was a heck of a race, and it sure was quite hard keeping up with with all the action all the way through there. One of the best races of the season, almost I'd say as great as the Fuji, if not better. That'll be up to you to decide, but yeah. Big congratulations to our 2 winners today, to Mikey in that Honda, and really feel like it should have been perhaps a 1-2 for those Hondas, but Armored Core got lucky taking 2nd position on him. Also a big congratulations, of course, to Sam Digby. This time his connection held up just about well, and he had a really strong race, even managing to overcome 2 situations where he got damaged and so on. So yeah, I think that concludes the race broadcast for today. It's been a big pleasure bringing you this race from the TSR Multiclass Super GT Championship. Of course, do tune in once more. We'll be back with more of this series in a week's time, and of course we'll be back also come this Monday with the Nuke Shot Endurance Series. And then in other news, in other channel news, we have agreed with the IGTL organizers to keep on broadcasting their events in the future. So of course we are greatly looking forward to whatever they're going to come up with, because that's pretty much always going to be a blast. I think all that's left for me to say is, if you haven't already, hit that like button and hit the subscribe if you haven't yet already as well, to stay updated on all things Half the Race Gone. You can stay connected to us on the Discord. You can stay connected on the Twitter as well. And that's about it, I guess. So until next time, I will see you guys again. So take care, have fun, and bye-bye.